FknBucky here, coming at you. I spell it, you say it. Got Hayden back in North Carolina.
Hey, came up with a joke for this episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your joke.
I want to address the elephant in the room. My
Is it funny because it's not true? I'll just try. I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe I need to work on it a little bit. Did you like growing up on the farm?
No, I hated it at the time, but it was a great thing later on in life. I couldn't eat dinner till the fucking cows were milked. A lot of people don't understand that shit.
It's funny. My dad told me stories because obviously you grew up with my dad for a little bit, and he told me one time he was working out in the fields, working with, with my grandpa, and one time he kind of mouthed off to him.
Yeah, that was Jeremy's fault.
Were you there for that? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, I witnessed it. Of course I was there.
Well, you could probably tell the story better than mine,
I'm sure I can. I can tell any story better than you. True. The first story you told was a stupid dick joke about an elephant with no dick. No, your dad, man, he was mouthy. He was fucking had to wear glasses. We all wear these fucking glasses, but we were poor. We had no money. So we had to get the cheapest frames in the world, which are the ones that I think the ones the military give you are upgrade from what we had. They were fucking huge plastic frames, and there was no way to make them look cool. There should have been like a tag right in the middle that said "punch me." They were bad.
Were like the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses?
I never seen Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. But
pull it up.
He was gay, but yeah. So Jeremy though,
you don't know what his glasses looks like, but you know he's gay.
Everybody knows he's gay. He fucking ate his boyfriends, dude.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. Well, the pedophile glasses, you know what I'm talking about? Like the standard heavy...
Pedophile? No. What do you drive a white van to? A little rapey.
That's what a pedophile...
Children,
that's a pedophile.
Run. I had to wear these glasses that suck.
Those are brutal, dude.
That's what your dad's glasses look like.
So he wasn't wearing them?
He didn't want to.
That's what started the argument, though, right? Or the conflict?
Yeah, so he didn't have them on. And Dad said, "Where's your glasses?"
Yeah.
And Jeremy said, "I'm blind. I can't see them." And Dad lost his shit and fucking threw him over the tractor. His sight miraculously came back. So I found those glasses pretty fucking quick.
So you learned some life lessons on the farm.
Everybody did. It's a good place to grow up. Nothing wrong with learning how to work. It was good. We had horses we could ride. And a lot of freedom. His story's not the one we're talking about today, so except for him getting thrown over a tractor, which was pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Jeremy didn't even know he could fly. It was a big fucking surprised look on his face when he did.
That's gotta do crazy strength to throw somebody over a tractor.
Yeah, mostly anger. Mostly anger. Old Jeremy. That's how we were in South Dakota. He'll probably get mad I tell these stories, but that's all right. It was bound to happen. And we were on this cattle drive. So we took these cattle for like 30 miles. Took them 15 miles one day and then camped out all night in like this old shed thing that had most of the roof had been worn away over the years. But it was like a nice wood platform, so you weren't sleeping on the ground, But roughing it like real cowboys did back in the day. And all of us could ride horses. We were all pretty good horsemen by this time of our lives, even though we were still young kids, but still. Yeah, your dad, man, he was saddling his horse in the morning. It was probably 7:30. The sun was up, but it was still, it was early. He got started early in the morning, but we were, he started riding and finishing off the cattle drive for the day. And Jeremy's like, "Hey, I don't know, there's like a bee or something over here. Keep buzzing me." And the guy who ran the cattle ranch is like, "What?" And he's like, "There's a bee or something over here." And John's like, "Oh, shit." And he came running over and he's like, "It's a fucking rattlesnake, dude." And there was a rattlesnake, like,
damn,
2 feet from your dad's fucking foot, sitting there rattling, saying, "Get the fuck away from here, I'm going to bite you." And, your dad was definitely not a fucking seasoned rancher. That we didn't have rattlesnakes in Wisconsin. So, all that being, it is what it is. But fucking, there's a bee over here. He just keeps rattling for a couple minutes now. So nonchalant. You're standing right next to a fucking rattlesnake the whole time. So then John, like the old timer rancher guy is like, all right. He's like, all right, I'm going to lift this fence post off the ground a little bit. And he gives Jeremy this stick. And he's like, you take this stick and flick the snake out of there so I can kill it. He's like, all right. So, we're all kind of like standing back, but, we're still kind of close. We want to see what's going on, We're not like 50 feet back or anything, we're like 5 feet back.
How big was the snake? Was it a long snake?
No, I mean, a couple of feet. Like, it was a prairie rattler, so it wasn't like the biggest snake in the fucking world, but it was definitely could hurt somebody, kill them if it bit them.
Freak you out, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rattlesnake. It's not, not the deadliest one, but still make a bad
venomous?
fuck. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a fucking rattlesnake.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not like it was child's play. I mean, it was, but just put in prairie rattlesnake. There you go. That's what it is.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, so its tongue was going nuts.
No, its rattle was going nuts. It was shaking the rattle at the end of it. That's what they do. See that second picture right there? Yeah. So they shake that thing, and it makes a noise that is very, once you've heard it, you'll never hear another sound like it. Like, it's very distinct.
Like a shamrock?
I don't know what that is. But, I mean, it doesn't sound like a bee.
The thing you go,
oh, fucking sham. You mean a Moroccan?
That's what it is.
Yeah, a shamrock.
Same bad.
The Irish invented those, huh? And the old rancher man was like, hey, I'm going to lift this up a little bit, flick the snake out, I'm going to smash its head. Blah, blah. Easy, right? So the guy lifts up the freaking fence post that's laying on the ground, and your dad takes his stick to the rattlesnake. Jeremy sent that fucking rattlesnake airborne, dude. It looked like he was going into orbit. That snake flew like 25 feet. Just like over everybody's heads, just flying. Like
so he flinged it back?
They just flinged it the fuck out, but it went everywhere. There was 20 people standing there. So it's not like everybody's lined up. We're on a fucking circle, and the snake's flying. I mean, you can't kill the fucking thing when you fling it 25 feet away. The point was to stick it out like a foot or two so the guy could see it and stop it. But no, that snake was up in the air, man. That snake was like, what happened? He launched it. And so it ended up being like 20 fuck feet over the other way. They had to go run it down and fucking kill the thing. I mean, it needed to die. There was no time, and there was no way that anybody was gonna get in there and grab it and rehome it somewhere. None of us were that savvy with the snake, and you couldn't leave it there. Not with the horses. And there was some dogs and smaller kids, so blah blah. But
it'd be cool to be savvy with a snake.
Yeah, that old snake, he went airborne. Probably thought he had a good life, and then he got smashed by a fucking rock.
True.
I think it was a rock. One way or another, he got killed. And when I was younger, it's funny that you brought the cattle drives and that thing about Jeremy the snake, because there was people around those days that would do the same thing. I mean, us kids were a bunch of farm kids from Wisconsin, right? And there was other adults with us on this cattle drive. In particular, one of the adults was never around. He just would leave and go on like these alone rides through the woods and shit. But he would just leave the cows and just go off on his own. But then every time we stopped, he would never shut up about how great of a horseman he was and how he, pushed cattle. And I mean, it was crazy to me because his actions, he was never around to do any of the real work. He was just around to run his mouth when the fucking fire got started. And I remember thinking about that, and it was my first, I didn't even have a label for it. I didn't even know what it was, but I do remember that it was there. It was my first interaction with understanding actions, not words. And it's developed, and it's taken a long time to develop because I was, fucking 11 or 12 years old back then. And I think if you look really deep inside of your circle of people that you know, you could probably identify 2-3 people that are completely full of shit, And it's a red flag on any notion. And fuck them. Like, don't waste your time, like, trying to fix them. just the only thing you should really be doing is making sure you're not that. Back up what you say, no matter how hard it is sometimes to do, and be a person of good character and be a person that that you would be proud of if people looked at your life and read your actions and not the things that you say. And they should coincide. Growing up in the Midwest is different than where it is on the coastline and in the cities. Don't ask me why, it just is. And it's funny because when you're in the Midwest, right? You'd be driving home after work or whatever, and you drive by your neighbor's house and you notice that he's like putting shingles on his roof, right? I can tell you probably 90% of my friends back there would stop, grab a bundle of shingles, and crawl up the roof and help for no reason other than it's just what you fucking do.
I would say people are more friendly in the Midwest than they are on the coast.
I think it's something that's missing from the world today because so many people are so self-absorbed with what themselves and what they're gonna get, like what they look like on TikTok or Kick, whatever these stupid video things are, going into Walmart and pouring milk out in the aisle or some of this other dumb shit for views, think about a channel that, of a guy that gets off work, drives by his neighbor's house, gets out, grabs a bundle of shingles, and doesn't say a word except "fuck you, pansies" as he starts crawling up the ladder to help out. That's a video. That's a person I want to be friends with. Not some dipshit that's dumping a gallon of milk out at Walmart. What the fuck is that about anyways? So, and it is what it is. The guy that pops out of his truck, grabs some shingles, and comes up and helps, that's a friend. It's a brother. Somebody you want to be in a foxhole with. Brother. And so, people that, if you want to have good friends, and everybody does. Everybody wants to have great friends. I want to have that camaraderie and, nicknames and, feel wanted in the group. But you only get that by being a great friend. You can't expect everybody else to pull into your driveway and help you do shit if you don't ever do the same and reciprocate it. And you know what? A lot of times you got to do it first. And so don't be afraid of doing that. What I want to present a question for you here. What if there was a way that you could just download the information from somebody else's mind into your mind? Would you pay for that? Hayden?
I think Elon Musk is working on something like that. It's called like an AI chip where, you can download memories and thoughts and stuff like that.
How much do you think that would cost? I don't want to hear your opinion. I just want you to answer the question I gave you.
How much would it cost?
How much would it cost?
Would I do it?
I don't care. Answer one of them.
Right. Hey, it's going to be like phones, right? It's going to be really expensive at first, and then it's going to die down to a range where the middle class can buy it, just because everybody has a phone now. But when they first came out, only the elite had phones. It's going to be like that, it's going to die down in the market over time.
You heard it here first. Pure genius.
Hey, thanks, Buck.
I hate you so much. Here's the thing. Hayden's full of shit. Elon Musk is full of shit. And it's stupid. I've invented a way to do this. It's already there. I've got the whole framework laid out. Anybody can do it. It's actually quite amazing. And so for every person that goes onto YouTube and signs up for the FknBucky podcast, I will give you the recipe for that to happen. I will give you the code of how to get in there.
Hell yeah.
And all you gotta do is listen. And I'm gonna drop it right now just so people can get a little taste of all of it. Why are you tweaking? Now that we've understood what we're going to do, we're going to download information from another person into you. Hayden's a lost cause. There's no way we can get any wisdom in that asshole. And I have invented it. You know what I'm going to call it?
What's that?
A conversation. All you have to do, and I know it's a tough word for a lot of you because you haven't had a real one in a long time, is have a conversation with another human without belittling their views, without using a loud voice, without screaming at them that they must be a racist, misogynist, or whatever. And just sit down and listen. And if we did that more often, that wisdom would get passed along. But now, nobody wants to talk to each other. We all got a phone, we want to watch funny TikTok videos, and we want to go onto websites where everybody else thinks exactly like we do, because then it feels safe, and we don't have to hear other people's opinions. And it's a loss, and you can see it as a loss. There's all this information, certainly from our elders, you know? Look yourself in the mirror and ask, when's the last time you went and spoke to somebody that was, spoke to one of your grandparents if they're still alive? Ask them about how things were. Ask them about what happened. They were a generation that didn't sit in front of the TV all freaking day. They didn't have a DVD player in the headrest of the car. They'd actually talk to each other. And I think we talked about this too when we were talking about the fireplace, right? Watching a fire, how people sitting around a fire will talk, but people sitting around a TV, they don't talk, right? So there's already a way to do all of this stuff. There's already a way to get the knowledge from one person to another, and simply by talking to them. And it's sad to me how much you see when they don't. And you see, just take 5 seconds and look up from your phone and look at all the people around you that are on theirs. Go into a restaurant and look at a family of 4 sitting there. All 4 of them are looking at their phone. Daughter swiping Tinder. Dad's setting his fantasy lineup. Mom's on Pinterest. And the son's over there trying to download a booby without getting caught. But
I've done that.
It's just too bad. And you look at it individually, like, what's the big deal, right? The girl's trying to find a boyfriend. Dad's trying to, set his fantasy league so he can talk shit to his friend. And mom wants to find a way to sew better window shades or whatever the fuck you do on Pinterest. I don't even know. But when you do that every day and every moment, that you're not at work or you're not something, now you're losing that valuable time with your kids and your family. And to me, it's sad, And I didn't get to grow up in a super great family structure, like blah, blah. It is what it is. And maybe one day we'll talk about that. But I just feel like, when you got parents that care about you or family that cares about you, and then you just don't use that resource at all, sad. And it'll only get worse because there's no turning back. You look at where we are now. It's not like everybody's going to throw their cell phones down for a weekend. People can't leave their phone down for more than 6-7 minutes. If I leave the house without my phone, I'm like, fuck, I got to go back. You know how crazy that is? And none of, so the government's going to ban TikTok, which I don't know. Whatever. I think people have dug their own freaking holes at this point. It is a tool for the Chinese government to download everything about you, and you're like, oh, I don't care, whatever. You don't care today, but 25 years from now, who knows? I guarantee you're not going to be the same person you are right now. And say you tried to do something and they don't want you to do it, they can dig into those archives and find it. The one time you forwarded an off-color joke and your text messages, they have all that. It's there. So,
dude, you're a true blue collar patriot. When I listen to you, I'm like getting pumped up. You're a blue collar patriot, true patriot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
See, much better. If you're gonna open that big fat mouth of yours, just compliment me and then shut up. I can promise you this, dude. I'll never run for president. They don't need to be airing out my dirty laundry. I've said a lot of bad shit. It's pretty funny though most of the time. And my friends think it's funny. Like, I don't know. I don't buy into the whole politically correct statements. There's some situations where you don't need to say certain things, but so the government though, they're gonna ban TikTok, and that's somehow gonna save the youth of our nation. It's bullshit. And frankly, for right now, the United States government, to me, it just seems like it's the world's most expensive retirement home. Like, who are these people and why are they fucking 90 years old still going into work every day, right? You don't need to be at work when you're 90. Go home. You telling me we can't even find any like 40, 45-year-old, 50-year-old men, women that could go to Congress for us? And it's both sides. It is a retirement home. You know how many drugs those people are on? Can you imagine? They should share. I could use a few of those drugs. Little happy pills. Download knowledge from one person to another. Don't even need Elon Musk. Have a conversation. Why don't you chat? Why don't you like just once, like this week, like maybe go out of your way. Go have a conversation with somebody that you normally would not. Don't judge them. Don't yell at them. Don't belittle them. Just have a real conversation and see what happens. I guarantee it's going to open your eyes. I love having conversations. I've talked to just about, anybody. And normally the crazier the better. I love crazy people. Normal people scare me. They're crazies deep down inside. You can't see it. But people that are crazy on the outside, they ain't holding nothing back. That's all out there. And I've had some pretty memorable conversations with crazy people. Remember that. Makes me happy. So happy.
You know what makes me...
Shut up! I'm getting back to it. God damn. Well, put a nipple on your cocktail over there and just shut up. So, we're talking about people in third world countries or whatever that don't have the experience. They don't have the bar raised to see people living in 25,000 square foot mansions, which is insane to me. And
Guatemala.
so they don't need it. Guatemala. Something else? You want to bring it into the forefront, or you just?
Just give an example of a third world country.
Thank God you're following along. My God. So, fucking Hayden.
Yeah, no, you were on a good thing. You were talking about. So
I know I was.
Did you see that Mark Zuckerberg built his old bunker and shit? And there's a whole bunch of billionaires building their own bunkers. I mean,
yeah, they clearly.
What does that say?
Those are people of real character, aren't they? Using all their money to build a bunker for themselves instead of maybe using all that money to make the world a better place.
True, but if I had enough money, I would build myself a bunker.
Well, there you go.
You gotta look out for the top dog every once in a while.
Spoken like a real fucking asshole.
So, like, hypothetically, you'd want to get hit by the blast then, if it happened?
I don't fucking know. What is going to kill us all?
The nukes. If we're, like, you're talking about, like, if shit goes down, nuclear age, nuclear war, you'd want to get hit by the blast because you don't want to deal with all the fallout of it.
No, I would like to think that I'm part of a rational fucking human race that's not going to destroy the planet over with nuclear weapon.
We've come close, though. There's some close calls. Did you hear about the story one time where in Washington, D.C.
Oh, my God, shut the fuck up.
They got a report during the Cold War in the 70s that there's nuclear warheads heading for Washington. And he was about to call Jimmy Carter, the president at the time. And right before he called him, the guy was informed that there was just a chip burnt out in their machine and that there wasn't actually any nuclear warheads coming for Washington, D.C. So he was about to call the president, letting him know that we were about to get nuked, and that would have probably provoked a response, would have actually started a nuclear war. It all just came down to a malfunction in the computer. Dude, we're at the mercy of our machines. Like,
what the fuck? I told you not to drink before we started this shit, dude. Now you're fucking throwing Terminator at me? Seriously? Is Arnold Schwarzenegger in this fucking story? You fucking Biden and Arnold could go live in your fucking bunker somewhere. And I don't know what kind of weird shit you want to do in there. But no, I'm not building a bunker.
It would be
fucking living underground like a fucking mole for 12 years because people in power couldn't fucking hold on to their nut long enough to not blow the fucking world up.
So you want to get hit by the blast? You just want to get incinerated? I don't give a fuck.
There's no blast, dude.
The nuke from the nukes, because that's why you'd have to go in the bunker.
Why is there a nuke blast?
Because that's the whole point of the bunker.
So if you build a bunker, then you got to have the nuclear fucking war, right? Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're never going to use your bunker?
No, but you wouldn't go into your bunker unless there was a nuclear war.
Well, unless it's a really expensive bunker. Then you got to have it a fucking war so you can actually use the fucking thing, right?
Oh, right.
So that means
because he put a theater. Mark Zuckerberg, you're right. He put like a theater, a fucking go-kart thing in his bunker. It's like an amusement park.
Awesome.
All for him and not for the people.
Good for
you're
him.
right. You're right. You're right about this.
No, I'm not. It's fucking stupid, dude. He's fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid. Everybody's fucking stupid.
All right.
Fucking bunker, dude.
We figured out a storage unit, though, this morning. Kind of a bunker-ish situation.
Fucking bunker. Get the fuck out of here. And they've whatever. There's fucking bunkers all over that place, dude. They built all that shit in World War II. Did they ever use them? Or during the Cold War with Russia? They didn't fucking use them. If the human race is going to start blasting fucking nukes all over the place, dude,
fucked.
I don't want to be a part of that world. I'm not going to live in a fucking hole in the ground for 20 goddamn years until the world becomes inhabitable.
Right,
again.
so you'd want to get hit by the blast. Just quick, you're gone.
I want there not to be a blast. And I would fucking work to not make the blast happen.
Right. Nuclear activist. Was the Cold War a big thing growing up? Were you actually nervous about...
No. The fuck, dude? I was like 8. I lived on a farm. We had no money. I was worried about fucking eating dinner. Fucking nuclear Cold War. Give a shit about the Cold War. I still don't give a shit about it.
It's kind of interesting.
I mean...
Because some say we're in a new Cold War.
No, we're not.
Okay. I mean, what's the definition of Cold War?
Dumb fucks in office, dude.
True.
Fucking nuclear war. So fucking podcast took a big shit. All right. FknBucky, I'm out.
That's your outro?
That's the outro.